How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am all right.
Are you,
How's the?
are you enjoying your 130 bond start?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Nice little buff. Nice little pretty big front-loaded buff.
It's not a little. It's not a little.
I mean, it's like 14% across, like motion value across her whole rotation, and it's like 30% in her first N4.
So you were talking about bond stacking.
Mhm.
Starting with 130 with the current numbers is the equivalent of starting with 110 last week.
Yep. That makes sense.
So you are always stacked. And if you never burst, you can get additional bond on top of that.
Yeah, I wonder if you actually can get over the 145, or if it's gonna cap you at 145. I hope that's how it works.
It's 145 per e-skill cast.
Yeah, I hope that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yes, you are indeed the expert on a beta version that's not even out yet.
I think Arlecchino looks really good now. She got a really solid damage buff. It is a shame that she's back to just being a slave to the circle. That I'm not super happy about. But the damage is there now.
Yeah, it's like I said, right? It's a pretty sizable front-loaded buff, so it just pushes her more into that direction again.
Yep.
Aware.
It's a lot of
rotation, Saj.
It's a lot of the same stuff. She doesn't need ER at all, though. Her burst is arguably not worth using, unless you just want the heal.
Yeah. Although if you're running a team with no defensive utility at all, it's likely that you're going to want to heal.
Yeah, you're going to need it. No defensive.
But yeah, like with the energy you're generating from her, I mean, for her double E, if you are using burst, the ER requirements are pretty trivial now. Which is nice.
Well, it's 130 if you do want to use a burst every rotation. You're not really going to cram Bennett skills down her throat.
What team? What?
Yelan Kazuha Bennett with like 1 It's like 120, 130.
What? How long are your rotations? 1 Yelani or 2?
It's 2. That's if you use 2 E's.
Okay, so 20-second rotation.
What? You can't use 2. Like 21? Like 20?
Yeah, 21. Yeah. Okay.
22, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's worth it.
It's not. I can tell you it's not.
What do you mean?
You just burst every other rotation. But
no,
again,
I mean,
her burst
I don't know if 2 E's on Yelan is worth it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about 2 E's on Arlecchino.
No.
Oh, 2 E's on Yelan is not worth it. If you can brute force the ER, you would brute force it. It is difficult to do, but you have the option to do 2 E's on Yelan though, so that's cool.
Yeah, you can basically decide either if you can get enough ER to just do 1 E rotations, you're gonna try to do 18-second rotations.
Yep.
And if not, you're gonna do like 21, 22. Although it's gonna be rough because you're gonna have to waste some Bennett uptime on Yelan's E.
You're not really worried about that. Not really. On an 18-second rotation, you're not worried about that.
Yeah, not on the 18-second rotation, but if you're doing a double E rotation.
You kind of have to either way. Unless you want to rely on the double Hydro app.
What do you mean?
Or are you doing burst Hydro Absorb for Kazuha?
No.
Because those are the 2 ways you can do it?
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm confused.
Hang on, I can demonstrate. Let me hang on, I'm about to start sharing. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, give me a second. Can I show this screen to my screen?
Yeah, go for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the two ways you're gonna swirl pyro. So there's one.
I don't love that. I think you're better off doing the Yelan E before the Kazuha and do Holy on
You don't
Kazuha
apply
instead.
you don't apply hydro. You can't.
What do you mean?
My Yelan is C2, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to demonstrate, but I can try. You're leaving a pyro aura on the target, Zajef.
No, you're not. Yelan's E removes Pyro and...
Here.
No, not like that. What?
Yes, Yelan Z removes it. Sure.
Wait, let me show you what I mean. Let me share my screen. God, my Discord is so slow. Holy fuck. Hey, let me know if you can see.
Let me see. Yes, I can see.
Okay. Oh god, I'm lagging. Like this.
Nice pyro aura.
Yeah, shut up.
You've kind of proven the point. You've kind of... You also didn't swirl, or you did swirl hydro, but you had to use a holdy, which is more time loss. Do you want to try the other way?
No, it's just...
Give it a try. Mana burst, and then you wait 1 second on...
Alright, no. No, I mean... I got crystallized. I don't want to talk about it.
The other option, if you want to pull up my screen.
I love the aura because I love the fucking Bennett infused auto go through. It doesn't go through if, or you don't lose the aura if you don't do that.
Here's the other option.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like these at all. It's so it's ping dependent and like
Yeah, but that is
getting
the other
pyro
option.
swirls through hydro infused Kazuha burst is just like it's doable, but it's not something I like to recommend.
Yeah. Those are your two options. It's either the don't burst or hydro absorber. But yeah, either way, you're spending that Bennett uptime, especially if you're doing a holdy on Kazuha. You're actually spending more Bennett uptime.
Yeah. Oh wait.
The solution is to just do what I'm recommending.
Yeah. I wonder if Sackbow would be good in this team.
If you really need the energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you have to.
Yeah.
Man. Wait, that's what I wanted to do. Am I an idiot? Is that what you were doing?
Basically. I'm doing it in a way that you can use Kazuha's tappy. You don't have to use this holdy.
Yeah, I think that's fake. Like, you can do it.
It's absolutely
but
consistent.
It's not, though. Because the timing depends on your ping. Depending on your ping, sometimes you'll swap into Kazuha at the wrong moment from, like, for the Bennett self-pyro app, and you're not gonna get it. if you hold E, you're delaying enough that you always get it, and it generates more energy, so it's not like
It generates
that big of a downside. But yeah, you can top E, it's just less consistent.
Okay.
Like, it's effectively the same thing, but hold E is just more consistent.
Bennett's ticks are also delayed by ping, I believe the same way that your swaps are.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I believe?
Is that for the Pyro app? Or for the healing?
That's for the healing. I'm not sure about the Pyro app.
When you look at damage, damage is delayed by ping, but elemental application from that damage is not delayed by ping.
Mm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if it's the same thing for healing.
Not sure. Ping does a lot of stuff. Ping does a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Ping TC indeed. Yeah, I'm wondering if you do the like Yulon Q into Kazuha QE, whatever, right?
Yep.
And then you try to get your Hydro Swirl here.
You get your Hydro Swirl on the Burst Absorb.
Sure, you can do that, but for now, let's talk.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about the Burst Absorb.
No, for me, Kazuha Hydro Burst Absorb is not something I'm considering.
Okay, so you're talking about this one.
Yeah, Can you do it again?
Yes, I can do it again.
I want to see how you do it.
Give me 1 second. Little short ER.
I see.
You are
Doesn't
letting
that setup
the Hydro tick down from the time. So when Kazuha does the swirl, it wipes the
Doesn't
aura.
that setup get fucked by a single proc from Arlecchino's thing? Arlecchino's Blood Debt?
It's an excellent
Is
question.
that gonna work with her?
It's an excellent question. Her Blood Debt ticks once, and it's on a 5-second timer. That is probably led by hit lag, but we're not doing anything with hit lag right now.
I feel like it would.
Just opening with the Yellow cast is going to get fucked by that, because you aren't applying Hydro twice.
Yeah.
You'd have to do something different.
Yeah, the setups I'm looking at always swirl off 1U Hydro, not 0.5U. So they would work even if it procs at a bad time.
Yeah.
Which is part of why I like them, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that needing the setup reskill ahead of time sucks.
Yeah. Because like you use her E, then you use Yulon's Burst, and then her E's gonna proc after Yulon Burst always. I feel like it's pretty likely it procs somewhere between Yulon Burst and Kazuha E, and if it does, your setup gets fucked.
Not necessarily. Here's on 1U. Yeah, never mind. You have to do a whole D.
Yeah, you have to do whole D. Because if it's 1U, tap E doesn't remove it.
Yeah.
It's only if it's 0.5.
Well, actually, Bennett... C6 Bennett can reduce that aura.
Bro!
Don't
auto.
If you let the auto hit.
Just don't let it hit. True.
You have to let the auto hit. What do you mean? C6 Bennett, you're applying the pyro from the auto attack, the N1.
I guess if you want to do top E, sure.
Yeah, you do want to. Yeah. Kind of sucks though. And again, I don't really want to beat C6 Bennett. You get 20 hits now, by the way, which is really nice on Arlecchino. I don't know if you noticed that.
Hits? What do you mean?
You can greed for 20 hits from her bond stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it though.
It's not, but
like it's worth it if the enemy's about to die and you can kill them off. But otherwise, you can just keep that bond to increase your next rotation's damage instead.
The bond cuts off at 30 anyway, so you always get bonds stored.
Yeah, but like instead of going from like 45 to 30, you just stay at 45. You start your next rotation earlier, and it deals more damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice that it's a thing you can do now. That's true. What do you think of the other teams outside of Vape?
Oh, they kind of just all got worse compared to last week, but before they're better than before. Overload stuff is fine. I think Vape is significantly better now.
Worse compared to last week? Are you assuming
yes, before they fixed it?
Because that was never like that has literally never been there, right? So like
it was. They hot fixed it. They hot fixed it away the next day, technically.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
I did not hear or see anything about that.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The overload stuff, it's still good. It's because Vape doesn't need to burst anymore and doesn't care about ER. Vape does a lot more damage than overload.
Yeah.
They just completely stripped away any unique identity. She is on-field Vape DPS number 6 with Bennett Circle. But she theoretically does the most damage of any of them, so that's cool. In the specific team.
As long as you don't get hit with no defensive utility, no resistance to interruption, and you can't heal. Yep. That's great. I mean, honestly, it's the right balance, right?
And you don't mind taking the 1 second at the start of the chamber to use a reskill, unless you're pull C2. Which, yeah. I'm a little bummed. They kind of took away what was interesting about her.
Yeah, I get that.
Now the complexity or uniqueness to her gameplay is going to be just that she cannot be healed.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like if you're looking at it with the assumption that the thing was fixed, yeah, this kid is both worse and less interesting. I agree.
Yep. The damage buff is cool. Yeah. There's not much else I can really say. She's either gonna one-rotate content, or you're gonna die.
That's true.
That's an extreme way to put it, but...
Yeah, that is a very extreme way to put it. Plus, she's stronger on the second rotation if you manage not to get hit.
Yes, if you manage not to get hit.
It actually rewards skill, right? Because you don't have a way to heal. And if you manage to not get hit and to not have to use your ult, then your next rotation deals more damage. Which is nice, right? Like, that is an aspect that wasn't really there.
It's not that much more. Just because of how fast the bond reduces.
I mean, it's
a little bit.
Wait, let me...
It should be like, what, 5%? From starting with 30 extra bond?
Let me... Wait.
Starting with 160, yeah. Well, 20% or 18% extra bond at 15 hits.
18%? Wait, what?
24, actually. If you cut off at 40 bond, your average goes up by 24 across 15 hits. Yeah, which is how much damage? Like 12?
It's basically as much of a buff as the buff that she got from this thing. Like, it's about a 15% damage increase.
Let me double check that.
Alright, I'm looking at 3 and 4s.
Yeah, I am as well.
Next rotation starts at 173. It's actually more than that, because this is assuming you skill and burst.
Yeah, it's about 10-12%. If you get to second rotation.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a cool, neat little thing that is new. But yeah, it is kind of sad that they removed the other cool things.
Yeah, I really like Chevres.
How's your... Oh wait, never mind.
This might not be... No, this is 3 and 4s, yeah. You technically will You theoretically can fit an extra N4 in the time slot. I just don't know if you would. I think she looks really good, though.
Yeah. Like, the extra N4, it's not something you want to do.
Depends on how much time you have.
It's going to be less DPS because it's going to extend your rotations.
Yeah.
3 N4s should be basically it for a tight rotation. But if it finishes off a wave or something like that, like, you have the flexibility to do it, which is nice.
You could also stretch your rotation to do the 2 Yelenies 10 seconds apart.
That is true, yeah.
So, fit for 20-second rotation? Or 21, because 10.5 second cooldown.
Unless you have Yelan C1.
Yeah.
True. C1 is a 0.5 second cooldown reduction on
after
her,
your first, yeah, because her cooldown starts after the first one, because your cooldown starts after it hits.
It doesn't matter because effectively, if it's at 19.5 on your next rotation, you use it, and the 0.5 seconds of the duration makes it so that the next one is up anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it's 0.5, but only on the first one, and like it still lets you do 20-second rotations, basically.
Yeah. It kind of really doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be like she's still gonna be good in teams other than Vape.
Yeah. Such as
any team, right? You can play her in Monoparo, you can play her in Overlord, you can play her in...
any team in a Bennett circle? You mean
yeah. Yeah,
there's
exactly.
There's a difference.
You can play her without the Bennett circle too, right? Like, you can play her with Chivalers without Bennett.
I tried. We ended up with a 31-second rotation. That was still worse than Bennett.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse than Bennett, but it's still something you can do. And you definitely don't want to do a 31-second rotation. Something's wrong there.
That's how you have to get her East kill to reset.
What?
That's what it takes to get her East kill to reset if you use her burst for an East kill reset.
Yeah,
to try to do the split rotation stuff.
Yeah, just don't use your burst. True.
Yeah, then you're doing 18-second rotations.
20 because you're using Beta most likely. Again, fucking fake as fuck to play without a defensive utility option. Official...
Yeah, you can play with Beta. If you play with Beta, though.
Official Yai is fake. It's so fake.
Okay, sure. Official Beta. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You get to do 4 N4s on Arlecchino. With Chevres. It's... okay. It's okay. We'll see. You lose a lot. You lose a lot of her damage not having the circle. It's a bit of a shame.
It is, but Beto's damage is a lot better in AoE than Arlecchino's. Like, no, it does, but like it consolidates itself a lot better in AoE. Because her AoE is not very large.
No. Be careful with overload if you're gonna talk about AoE.
Yeah, I know. It's
your Beto enemies are not staying together. That is single target Beto across 5 dudes. Or across 2 dudes.
Yeah. Although, because you're not reliant on doing specific normal attack combos, especially with the buffs to the part of your damage that's Bond of Life, you can kind of use your dashes to, like, always try to stay on the outside of the cluster so that you knock enemies inwards instead of outwards.
Yeah, she's always been that way. Her normal attacks are pretty uniform. Doesn't really matter which ones you use.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, that is going to be a problem, but you can alleviate it through gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, you can absolutely try to work with it. Beta will be not bad. I think I'm leaning more towards the Bennett Circle stuff anyway, just because she...
Yeah,
if you are hitting...
I agree that she's going to be better with Bennett.
She has true AoE, meaning you can actually hit multiple enemies and do even damage.
I didn't hear the start of your sentence.
She has like actual true AoE if you are hitting multiple enemies, like a cluster of 4 or 5, which is where Beto starts to fall off again. But that isn't really a situation that exists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can also see maybe some overvape stuff being alright.
It is if you don't want to play Kazuha or Sucrose. You use Yelan or Xingqiu with Fischl Bennett.
Yeah.
That's the backup option.
It's gonna be a little bit more orange friendly.
I don't know if it's gonna be. I do think Chevreuse is a bit more like of a failsafe, especially if Chevreuse is on her banner. Even at C0, Chevreuse seems to be very competitive with Xingqiu for vaping.
Wait, is it confirmed that Chevreuse is on her banner?
No, I'm assuming. I'm hoping. Yeah. This is cope.
Yeah, I'm hoping she's not. Just for me, because I'm selfish. Because I'm not on 50-50 and I'm at like 70 pity. So I'm gonna get her at like a 10-pull. So I'm hoping she's on a different banner that I can actually go for.
I'm hoping that Chlorine is the Eula support.
Oh god. Is that why you were playing her today?
No, I was playing her today because we were talking about overrated and underrated units. And I was like, Beto is Eula is overhated. She's bad, but she's not that bad, right?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
She might be one of the worst DPS characters, but that doesn't make her ungodly terrible.
No, like you can clear with her, it's just not fun.
No, you kind of can't, but it's not fun. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
You can, honestly, it's not even that hard. You just play Bennett, C6, Xianyun, and
that wasn't really what I was talking about.
I know.
Have you awakened to Geoplunge comps?
What do you mean?
Navia like Plunge and Ito Plunge?
Ito Plunge, I'm not a believer. Navia, I think it's fine, yeah.
Why not Ito Plunge? Ito has the Zhao and Gaming C6 hitbox on his plunge when he's in his burst.
Does he? Wait, I didn't actually know that.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Wait, I did not know that. Okay, you know what? Maybe you're onto something. For AoE situations, I did not know that. What?
At least I haven't checked. So one of my chatters told me. Let me double check. But I would believe it. That's something they would copy paste.
Yeah, I feel like just in terms of damage, I would struggle to justify her over. Yeah. But I guess he doesn't have the greatest supports. So like it's probably not even that much of a loss.
Yeah, his Geoplunge is radius 6 meters.
Damn, that's a lot. Okay, you've convinced me. Yeah, for Navia, I was already like, yeah, it's one of her options. Just gives you something to do during the downtime. Because her normals are like, bleh.
Wait, Navi's normal attacks?
Yeah.
They're
fine, but...
They're like 35% of her damage. Plunging is better, but her normal attacks are not bad.
I just mean, like, obviously you're going to use them, but they're not the greatest, like, WoW poggers. I'm very happy to be using my normal attacks. They're alright.
They're necessary. There's not much else you can do.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, because her normal attacks are kind of whatever, having Xianyun will make her uptime a lot better. Like, make her field time a lot stronger.
Actually, even without Xianyun, if you're fighting the field generator on Current Abyss, you should actually just plunge.
True. Obviously, if you don't have to pay anything for the plunges,
yep,
that's even better.
You also apply more Geo when you by plunging, which is really funny.
Bro!
It has no ICD.
Hell yeah.
4 crystals
with no ICD.
Yeah. Well, it's still the global ICD, but it doesn't matter. You're getting 4 crystallizes per e-skill instead of 3.
Very pog.
Very pog. But yeah, I guess Arlecchino, what do you like the change?
I mean, again, right, I'm looking at it with no knowledge of the ult ever being fixed, right?
Right.
And I'm evaluating based on the previous version I was aware of, which is with the old with the old clearing bond of life, right?
Yes,
and
the old clearing.
With that in mind, I like the changes, because. Okay. But obviously, if I'm looking at it compared to if they did end up fixing that, then I would agree that. I mean,
they never fixed it. It was a mistake that they implemented in the first place, and they hot fixed it out. And we all thought it was a mistake that they hot fixed it. At least I thought it was a mistake that they hot fixed it.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm confused.
The burst used to not collect her e-skill marks at the start of last week, and they implemented a hotfix to make it do that.
Make it collect her e-skill mark?
Yes.
As in...
If you have an e-skill mark on the enemy and burst, it will collect the mark and clear the bond and reset her e-skill cooldown.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That was the change, yeah.
Yes, that was the change.
Yeah, okay.
That'd get rid of all your bond. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if it didn't get rid of the bond, which is what you were assuming, right?
It was that it didn't get rid of the e-skill mark, which it didn't until it did.
Yeah, that was earlier versions, though.
No, that was the start of last week. Before Tuesday.
I see.
But it really doesn't matter because apparently it was unintended, and they fixed it.
Okay.
Oh wow.
But yeah, like compared to how she was, I guess post hotfix.
Like, yeah, post hotfix. Yeah, she's better now.
Yeah, she's better. But like, if they did the initial changes, or like the ones where the old behaved the same way but didn't clear the bond, right? Which is what you were looking at for a while, right?
Yes. Well,
I think that she would have been a bit too strong in a way that, like, I wouldn't have been all that comfortable with.
She's literally better now.
She's not.
Sure. The overload teams are significantly worse. Not significantly worse, but they're just not as good as they could be.
Like,
especially not the
started with 140 and your scaling was better. How is that?
You would have started with 110.
Are you assuming you don't let it cook? I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming you don't have a 5-second staring contest with the enemy. Twice.
I mean, it was still better, no?
No. Especially since it took time to do that. The vape stuff was a lot worse last week. Even assuming it could stack.
With the 297.5?
Yeah. It takes time to use her E-skill twice. And burst you need a ER to burst every rotation. The vape stuff like was a lot worse. Seconds. Yeah, it's like 2 more seconds. That's 2 more seconds of you not doing normal attacks. And you have to burst, and you have to build like 130 ER, 120 ER. That's a lot of loss.
120 ER isn't a lot.
130 is.
Yeah, sure. Play one more Fav.
Play 3 Favs. Fav Bennett. Favlecchino.
True. But yeah, like, overall, she still would have been stronger because she would have had other teams where she would be a lot stronger, right?
And she would have had the overload stuff.
Yeah. And, like, I'm not a huge fan of a character's best team by a relatively large margin being a Chevreuse team where it's significantly worse if you don't have her C6, right?
I mean, you can levy the exact same complaints. Vape teams, the difference between Yell and a Jingcho, especially if you're trying to do an 18-second rotation, is 30%.
Yeah, but you don't have the defensive utilities. Like, there's still...
Such as 30%.
Yeah. But...
you can levy it's kind of the exact same complaints. That being said, I think Chevreuse was cool. I don't think Chevr's teams are bad now. I think they're still very good.
Yeah, like they're still gonna be good. It's just I don't know. It's because it's so cringe to get a non-old 4-star to C6.
It's a lot
right?
to C6, yes, but Chevr's works perfectly fine at C0.
Yeah, but it's just I'm not a fan of if a character's best team is Chevr's by a relatively large margin because of the way that the C6 is like such a big increase compared to not C6.
The C6 is a 20% increase on Arlecchino.
Yeah,
that's not 20% for the whole team. It's just for Arlecchino.
Yeah.
Chevra's is a new 4-star, so it's very hard to get her. She was last on.
Yeah,
she was only been on Yoimiya and Raiden banner. If she's on Arlecchino's banner, I have no real problem with it because unlike Farzan, Chevra's is perfectly functional at C0. Mm-hmm. She's actually very good at low cons, and again, her build is Chevra's is the cheapest character in the game to build. You get her to level 70. You don't even have to level her talents for Arlecchino.
Yeah. I think mainly my point is
she doesn't need a set.
I like her balance a bit better now, but I do think that design-wise, it's a little bit it's worse. And it's a little bit more boring.
I think her teams are a bit less balanced. I think they're kind of. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell until she's implemented, because a lot of the overload stuff can very easily just suck to play. But I am still kind of. I'm coping. I still am really interested in playing overload.
If I think that it makes sense and it's arguably good for the game when the Vape teams with double swirl setups are the better one for a character, because those require more knowledge and are harder to execute, so they should reward you with.
That's a bit of it's a bit of a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because, like it or not, I've spoken to the Akasha and the Enka devs. 70% of their user base are mobile. Keep in mind, this game is played on mobile, and it's a big part of why characters like Neuvillette are seen so positively, because they require so few inputs. And Chevra's, again, is a character who isn't widely played, and putting a DPS character more kind of specifically pigeonholed into her makes them unique and makes them stand out among a crowd.
I guess. But she's still really good with Chevra's, so like...
Yeah, she is still really good with Chevra's.
Like, my point is basically just, I think that the Vape teams should always be slightly better.
I don't know if I agree, just from an accessibility standpoint. Maybe Chevra's stuff is still incomplete. Maybe Chlorine. I hope Chlorine is a YOLO support, though. Anyway. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of, like, removing skill incentives to appeal to mobile players. Like, there should be characters that are still good for mobile players, but I don't see why the character's best team has to be completely, like, without skill expression, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
do you not
as long as there's still characters that are good if you're not playing that best team, I just don't see it as necessary.
I think optimized rotations are a form of skill expression, even if you aren't executing a swirl with 0.5 seconds of leniency. I think even just swapping to your characters and doing the correct combos in order is skill expression. Not getting hit is a form of skill expression. I think there's a lot of nuance to it, and just saying the team only requires skill if you swirl is reductive. Right. Chevra's buffs are easier to get because they're somewhat automatic as long as you use her holdy, and they're essentially full uptime, which also is really good for multi-wave. I do want to mention that.
Yeah, it is. All right, and also, like, there's also the fact that, like, that optimal team with Vape setups, like, in a lot of practical situations, your actual DPS matters less because it matters more that you can front load damage. It matters more that your damage carries across multi-wave.
I think the VV stuff. I think the vape stuff was always going to be competitive or better in practice, which is why I don't mind overload having an on-paper advantage.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
I think double hydro vape, I would agree, but VV vape, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like, double hydro vape has basically all of the practical stuff. VV vape has setups that are more difficult to do, that are more reliant on being against specific enemies, that are more reliant on, you know, the enemies not dying in the middle of your rotation and all that stuff. Whereas double hydro stuff is a lot more, like, brain off things happen.
Yes, double hydro stuff is a lot more brain off things happen. What do you think about... Because she heals herself more consistently with the burst, Freena's a bit better now, which is quite nice. Freena's...
I don't know if I like the idea of using your Frina buff up type to use her fucking 3 damage burst.
It's a... Wait, what? Her burst does good damage!
Does the damage of 2 autos at the start of the rotation.
That's 2
vaped
autos.
Like 3 autos overall.
It's more like 4. It's more like 4, because that's vaped autos. One of them vapes.
I guess.
It's the same dilemma. It's an age-old dilemma where, yeah, the burst does a big number, but you do so much damage on your normal attacks where it doesn't really matter. It's a lot of deja vu.
Yeah, it's like Hutao if you couldn't PP slide.
Even then, it's still just not... The time might not be worth it.
Yeah. Rotation extension.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow. But they're... Arlecchino's burst does hit more than above 50 Hutao burst. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It is also her source of recovery. She's getting about at least a 60% heal every rotation? Question mark? I need to double check that.
Who are you talking about?
Arlecchino.
Should be more than that, no?
No, not unless you're at like 100 bond.
Oh yeah, they changed it. It's not 200% of bond anymore.
It's 150% of your bond, so it's 50% of your bond, and 150% of your attack.
You're right then. Should be something around that, yeah.
Yeah. In rotation, if you burst, which you aren't with current assumptions. Let's chat. That doesn't mean you can't burst, Shiver. You can technically force it. You can
Yeah. Although, if burst does clear your bond, using burst, like, I guess, when would you use it? At the end, I guess? You'd have to. You can't use it at the start.
Yeah, it'd have to be the end.
So basically, if your burst kills, it's worth using, but if it doesn't, it's probably not, because you'd rather have the bond for the next rotation. But yeah, you can't use it at the start, so it can't be good for Frina.
Yeah.
Right? That's not gonna work.
Well, you just use it... You use it at the start of reveal time. You do EQ. I guess you just take 65%. I guess you just...
That... Yeah, that does not sound right.
Would you like to pull C2?
No. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't front load the healing, so yeah, it's just, yeah.
C2 solves a lot of her problems. I'm not super happy about it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Her C1 is also... What do you have her C1 estimated at? Have you looked?
Have they changed it from 120?
Yes. It's 100. If you know how it gets added, it is the ratio plus 100, and then that combined value is multiplied by the bond.
So it's like 338 instead of 238?
Yes.
Let me take a look. Okay, seems to be, if you're using burst, about a 20% motion value increase.
What do you mean if you're using burst? Your burst doesn't give her 15 anymore.
I know.
Okay.
But her burst is part of her motion value.
Yes.
Just on the normal attacks, it's looking like about 25? Yeah, something like that. 25% increase. In total, because you're using E no matter what, and one charge attack should be like 24, 25, something like that.
24, yeah. Yeah. And then her C2 is another 24.
Although it's worth noting that it's probably more than that if you're killing the enemies early, because Bond of Life damage is a bigger portion of your damage earlier in your rotation than it is later in your rotation.
Yep. And her C2 is another 24%. And her C3 is about 20%.
What's C2 again?
The 900% after charged attack.
Oh, yeah.
Also, all of your bonds start max level.
Oh, yeah. Well, at C2, she's not a DPS anymore. She just one-shots things.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I would say that, but it is... She essentially just uses...
It's like you front load 3,000 Vape motion value.
Yeah.
Like that. That's killing shit.
It's going to be generally 400, 500k. It can be more if you're with very good artifacts and with a bunch more 5-star pulls. I believe it's generally like 500k.
400, 500k on like her whole damage, or
no, on just the C2 proc.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but you're getting 2 of those. Plus the burst.
No, you're not anymore.
Wait, you're not?
It has a 10-second separation.
No! I see. You can still get 2 though.
You can try. You can.
Yeah, okay, that's not really. Yeah, okay, no, that's fair. Ugh, that's cringe.
You'd get 2 in split rotation overload teams if they were available.
Okay, never mind. Damn, okay. So that is a pretty big nerf to her C2 then.
I think it always had a 10-second cooldown. I'm not sure. I think.
Let me take a look. Characters... Arlecchino. Ah, shit, it did.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
But her E-skill cooldown used to be 15 seconds, so you could have fudged it.
You used to be able to do, like, E, let it cook, do your setup, charge attack, burst.
Yeah, and then your E-skill would be off cooldown, and you could stack your bond for next rotation.
Yeah, and you'd get a second one before before your buffs expire.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. How do you feel about characters just generally having better constellations these days? Do you think it's healthy for the game or detrimental?
In my experience, I don't give a shit because I don't pull for constellations. But try to look at it from like considering people who do consider pulling for constellations. It's I don't know how to feel about it, honestly, because like
it gets in the way of a lot of older characters.
Yeah,
for sure, but I don't know if they care. I think they might, which is why I think it might be a little bit unhealthy, where we've made our money from this character, it's time to sell something else.
Yeah, but also on the other hand, I'd rather the power creep constellations than do significant power creep to base kits, you know?
A lot of the significant power creep in base kits is in supports. You were even mentioning earlier that, yeah, just play Plunge with Shunyan.
True. Yeah, like there's...
Characters like Shunyan and Farina, in my opinion, are like where the real power creep is. And that's where damage goes up the most.
I think I like half agree with that. I think, like, my view on it is I consider defensive utility to be pretty valuable.
Right. And
with that in mind, strongest character in 1.0 by far is Singto.
Oh, yeah. I think I said that and you were surprised. In fact, a long time ago.
Yeah. A long time ago, I used to consider Bennett to be better.
Yeah.
But that's changed over time. I think in 1.0, defensive utility was a little bit less relevant. Because the enemies just...
Yeah. You remember when Floor 12 had an entire HP pool of 500k?
Yeah. But yeah, so if I'm looking at Sinto's power level, considering and like including his defensive utility, I still consider him to be the best unit in the game. If you're looking at C6 4 stars, C0 5 stars.
There are a lot of very good
I can
4
see
stars.
An argument to be made for other characters,
yeah,
but I still consider him to be the best one. And with that in mind, them making units that are of similar power level to him over time, is it a form of power creep? Yeah, but is it the sort of power creep that like actually ruins the game?
No,
not really.
It does keep the treadmill moving though.
It keeps the treadmill moving, it keeps giving you new options, it keeps making pulling for new characters feel relevant and significant without actually invalidating what were the actual good units, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, units that were released and were not that great to begin with, you're gonna notice it that you have better options now.
Do you think that...
And that does suck for people who like those units, right?
I guess speaking of that, do you feel the way the Abysses have been getting more difficult kind of restricts a lot of units that have maybe fallen by the wayside? And it could be why they're getting so specifically targeted sports?
I think, yeah. I think for the longest time, like, you have to consider that, like, people's investment into characters made their characters stronger over time, right? And if you look at the DPS increase from Abyss DPS requirements have increased much more and much faster than character investment has increased your damage, right? But people's knowledge has also increased. And if you look at 1.0 stuff with 1.0 knowledge and 1.0 skill...
Oh, 1.0... Obvious. Best set in the game was Crimson Witch. You played Fischl, Xingqiu, and a Pyro character with Bennett. The best team in the game. From 1.0 until 1.6. Actually true. Freeze was never real.
I think Xiangling, Bennett, Sucrose, Xingqiu was the best team in 1.0.
Not when Crimson Witch gave you 40% Vape bonus on Overload.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay, sure.
It was fair. Hu Tao or Xiangling, Bennett, Fischl, Xingqiu. Best team in the game in 1.0. Not even close.
True. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, actually not even close.
With that in mind, I think that basically from 1.0 to like 3.0, the Abyss DPS requirement increases, mostly kept up with a combination of people's character investment plus knowledge. I think that's starting in 3.x and continuing, like, it's started to increase at a pace that's faster because people's knowledge has somewhat stagnated. Right?
They've also been releasing gear. Sets like Emblem, Mission Hunter.
Yeah, I'm including that in like investment.
I thought you were including that in knowledge.
No. I mean, sure, but no, not really. Because my point is like knowledge. People getting more knowledgeable about the game helped them clear Abyss more easily while they were still learning new things. But with knowledge stagnating, because at some point there's just less things to find out. Right now, Abyss difficulty increase, I think, is outpacing character investment increase.
I think we had an easy Abyss. Not this...
Yeah, some Abysses are
but the
easy,
last
but, like,
one was a bit easier
trend.
with the We Know It. The overall trend is they're getting more difficult, yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that is making it so that the characters that were, not the greatest back in the day are struggling more and more to clear in a way that you can't really do much about other than trying to pull for their cons or signature weapons or whatever. Or pulling for a new support for them.
Which seems to be Hoyo's, like, I guess, practice at this point for it.
Yeah.
Which is why I do expect Chlorine to be somewhat Fizz adjacent. If not directly Fizz connected, even something like an off-field electric DPS that gives attack percent and energy.
I don't know if that would even be that. Like, you could use it in physical, but I don't know if you'd use it over, like, in Raiden teams or something.
You would... Raiden is extremely replaceable for Eula. A lot of the best on-paper Eula teams... Not a lot of, actually. Some of them have been foregoing Raiden and just building 140 ER. Some of them have...
No, I just mean, like, you wouldn't play that character with Ella. You'd play them with another carry.
You could play Chiori with Navia. You could play Chiori with Navia. And it's still an upgrade for Navia. But she's also very good with Ito. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I struggle to see them making a character that's actually really good. And that buffs Ella enough to have actual good teams. While, like, being
I never said good.
Enough.
I said
yeah,
better.
okay, that's fair then. That's fair then. Although I will say I don't expect that to be Chlorine, because I feel like she's kind of she's one of the units that people look forward to a lot, and I feel like if they make her a physical support,
Shanaha is very attractive.
Yeah, but cryo is not the same as physical. You know, people actually like Ayaka. People actually like Ganyu.
They don't anymore. They don't. No, I don't.
That's fair, but like, I feel like it's a different situation to Ella. I can see her being a physical carry.
They've somewhat locked into Cryo being the Fizz element with Freminette, Mika, Eula.
Cryo being the what?
The Fizz element.
Yeah.
With some of the recent characters.
Yeah, Cryo and Electro. It is what it is.
The only Fizz Electric character is Razor.
True!
I believe...
He's not even Fizz, he's Dendro. True!
You could argue Kutzing at a time in 1.0 was Fizz,
fair.
but...
Yeah, maybe not anymore.
Kutzing is actually an electric character.
Oh yeah, official, true.
Fizz
weapon physical damage? Let's go!
Compound Bow or Meternox Waltz? Let's go!
Hell yeah.
Do you remember Avatar could sing builds? Cryo could sing, Pyro could sing, Fizz could sing, Electric could sing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have you looked into the Star Rail leaks at all?
Yeah, I looked at Boot Hill. Dr. Ratio was free.
True. Have you looked at Robin?
I have. She's another piece of follow-up Exodia.
Yeah.
I think the final piece, it's going to be a complete team after Robin.
It's going to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
It's,
And apparently Boot Hill is supposed to do competitive damage. 2 ratio, really? Topaz, Robin.
Really?
Allegedly. I haven't done the calcs myself. It's cool that Boot Hill injects his own weakness. Have you looked at the Sam stuff?
No.
Okay, well Sam is fire...
Yes, but I barely remember it.
Okay, fire destruction. He's another break DPS, like Boot Hill. But his weakness inject is at E1. But the difference is that Boot Hill gets crit for their break effect. Sam gets def ignore. Yes, Boot Hill gets crit for break effect.
His breaks can crit?
No. His break effect gives him crit.
Oh, okay.
Sam gets def ignore. For, like, X% conversion.
Yeah. I
just worry that a lot of the break is fundamentally slow. Because bosses have really high toughness bars. Very often you'll break them once per clear.
Yeah.
I worry if that's a problem. It also...
Boot Hill?
Boot Hill and Sam. It also borderline necessitates Ruan Bay.
Yeah, I think like Boodle doesn't get his damage from breaking. He gets his damage from attacking a broken enemy, right?
No, he gets both.
Well, yeah, sure, but like most of his damage comes from attacking the broken enemy, not from the break itself.
Yeah. And
break damage does scale with toughness bar. So like against the boss with a really big toughness bar, once you break it, you're gonna hurt him, you know?
And then he'll get back up. And then he'll get...
Yeah, and then you try to break it. But I feel like at high investment, it won't get back up. It's gonna die before it does.
Okay, that's the hope.
I think if you're going into the boss with no stacks, then yeah, like I agree, he's not gonna be very good. But if you're going into the boss with stacks from like previous waves, I think like once the boss goes down, it's dead.
Yeah.
Because like you're doing 150% of your break effect every time you attack on a boss with a lot of toughness. Like that's gonna be a lot of damage.
Yeah. Budel is good. He's just gonna do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they give them out for free though?
What'd you say?
Do you think that you give them out for free though?
Boo Hill?
Yes.
Why would they give them out for free?
Because that's the precedent. Because that's the...
I mean, no, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna, as soon as a ratio stops being available for free, give another for free.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's cool.
I'm not pulling for him. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, neither am I. I try to go for Robin.
I'm probably gonna end up skipping Robin too. I lost my 50-50 on Acheron today to Jeopard. So that was cool.
Did you want him or not?
I have E5 Jeopard now. I only get Jeopard.
I see. Oh.
I actually only get Jeopard.
Sorry to hear that. I wonder when Topaz is gonna get her next rerun.
I do want to pull Topaz in her rerun.
Yeah. I want to pull Robin and Topaz. Yeah. Gonna have the follow-up Exodia as goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull for Sam. I'll pull for a Topaz rerun. I think I'm pulling Adventurine.
Have you looked into like the speed tuning for Robin teams at all?
No, I don't think it really matters. You're just gonna use a burst when you can, and it's gonna give you extra turns.
I looked at it and I think that the best way to go about it is fast Robin and no speed on anyone else.
Sure. Did they actually reduce their burst cost today?
Yeah. Oh, it would appear that they have. I don't know if it's actually real, but
yeah.
Changed to 140.
140 good.
In follow-up Exodia, that's pretty reliable 2-turn ult.
Which means you can borderline just keep linking it. Yeah. Does she get energy while she is ghosted?
What do you mean by that?
During her ult, doesn't she herself get removed from the turn order?
I think so. Like from her passive, you mean?
Yeah, from her passive.
I mean, I've been assuming so.
Okay, then yeah, you just run fast. You just run speed on her and speed on no one else.
Terrible.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, she is not very good. But I've been assuming so.
She gives a lot of attack. I actually wish she gave energy, because that is one of the big hurdles for ratio.
I disagree, because you can do pretty reliably. She gives energy by advancing him forward. My brain isn't working effectively, right?
Okay, but that's not the same as... You're still ulting every 4 or 5 turns on ratio.
4 turns.
4 turns.
You're
getting more turns, but it still takes a while to get the first up. Or the Zol.
I mean, yeah.
You'd rather have it just be more consistently available, which is like one of the big things about Tinga.
your first ult is at like fucking basically 100 AV, like that.
Yeah.
I did a thing, whatever. And then your next one. One, two. Is that like 400? I guess. So you still get 2 ults before 450 AV.
I'd rather have 3.
You can probably get 3 if you do some speed stuff.
I don't think
it. I don't know if it's
again like you're also straining your SP economy if you were to try to just giving him more. I'd rather just have it and some form of energy generation.
Yeah.
If they could have, because Tingyun is very prevalent with ratio. Because of that, she gives him a very consistent ult, which is important. Because it's just a lot of damage. Robin is taking the same slot or slots for the teams if they're getting reconstituted.
She's giving more damage than Tingyun.
She is.
Plus, she's giving Topaz a lot of damage.
Yeah. She is. I just would have liked to have the ult be available, because the ult also gives you Topaz damage. No, because Numby is attacking more if there are more follow-ups.
Yeah, although I feel like a lot of the time it's going to end up proccing off of Numby itself, and it's not actually going to give you much more Topaz, or more...
That's not really a big deal, though. Like, that, even proccing off Numby is... That's still, like, an extra.
Well, yeah, obviously, the team would be better if you got energy for free, right?
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. But I like her design as it is.
Yeah, she's cool. I intend to just play the follow-up stuff without her, mostly just because I have Sparkle Eidolons.
That's fair.
That's more of a me thing, though, and not super relevant.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it. I like the way that it like impacts the speed tuning of your teams. The biggest problem is my ratio currently has 154 speed, and that's not very good with her.
Just farm the new set. You get to farm the new planner as well for him if you want to play with Topaz.
I want to keep farming Windset.
Just farm Pioneer. It's Pioneer, right?
Windset isn't even good on any character in that team.
Just farm.
It sucks.
Just do yourself a favor. Farm Pioneer. Farm the new planners. You'll be a lot happier for it. You'll be.
But I don't need to clear MOC. I want to have a 174 speed crit damage body Sparkle.
What's that going to do if you're not playing Sparkle?
I am playing Sparkle on the other side.
Oh, okay.
On my QQ team.
Oh, Xing Shui.
Dude, it's actually hilarious. I play QQ, I kill the first wave in like 0 cycles. I get to my second side, I run out of cycles.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Whenever I play Xing Shui, I have this problem where I get too lucky and she never consumes SP.
Dude! Fucking skill point positive QQ is such a pain in the ass.
It happens too often.
It does! It's so cringe!
We're never gonna get a turkey.
And then you're like, okay, well, since she's so skill point positive, maybe I'll try her with a support that's more skill point hungry.
No, maybe you'll run slow. Maybe you try slow Sparkle.
Ew.
Slow Sparkle,
no,
fast, fast Xing Shui.
But like, fuck that. I'm good. Bro, my Sparkle has
not a real gambler. Not a real gambler.
My Sparkle has 161 speed on Windset. I'm not.
You're not a real gambler.
I'm more of a gambler. I don't know why or how, but I'm more of a gambler.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, play Bronya Sparkles, Shang Shui. It's a better idea.
True.
That's a better.
True. Unironically, it's not even that bad because you can like adapt your rotation based off of how lucky you get with a team like that. But it's yeah.
Yeah, you can play dynamically. Sometimes you'll clear in 0 cycles. Other times you'll clear in 5.
True.
Dynamic.
Very true. Yeah, yesterday, bro. I have one side that like my QQ side clears really quickly, but usually she's with Fushan. And then my other side's sustain unit is a level 59 Lynx with
Lynx my
an
go.
unleveled 4-star set.
Lynx is my go. That's the best healer in the game.
Races.
That's the best healer in the game.
True. Yeah, so it's like it's very rough. And on top of that, well, my damage is pretty low because I have to play double sustain, and I die with double sustain.
Oh, you have to play double sustain?
I die with double sustain.
Oh.
That's how bad, like, because I can't do Natasha links because my Natasha is too low level, so she just gets one shot. I have to do Fire MC links.
Don't you have Fushuan?
For one side, yeah. That side is fine.
Oh, okay.
It's the other side that I have to play double sustain.
Locha is on Vanner if you need a second Lynx.
No, I'd rather get on sustain.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I don't know how different Locha is from Lynx. I don't know how, to be honest.
Yeah, he's pretty different.
Is he?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah, he is.
More comfy.
I keep running out of skill points in double sustain, man. You don't get it. I have to Lynx E and Fire MC E every turn.
Okay, that would be okay. That would do it.
Yeah. I want to get Locha eventually, but I don't have enough to guarantee both him and Amaltaran, and I want to get Amaltaran, so it just is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Not super worried about it. I should probably do my shop refresh, though. Locha is infinitely better than my GOAT, Lynx. Nah. Lynx would heal. Look. Let me show you my Lynx build. This is my level 75 Lynx.
I have someone in my friend list who has a 171 speed multiplication win set Locha.
Yeah. You can do
It's kind of fucking bog to play.
You can do it with Lynx.
Yeah, but you don't heal. Win set Lynx healing aware.
Lynx healing
Win set multiplication max speed Lynx healing aware.
Lynx's healing is only really useful when you are passing damage checks to deal with it being insufficient.
E0 Lynx aware. It is what it is.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, new Piff. New Piff.
Piff. True.
Piff.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for the talk.
Yep. Take care. Good luck with your Arlecchino pulls.
There's no luck.
Oh yeah, there's no luck. It's all guaranteed.
Yeah, I will get her in my next 10 pull. It's unless I go like really deep into pity.
Yeah.
I guess might take 2. Anyways,
Take care.
have a nice rest of your stream.
You too.